A short routine you can do just before going for a surf, or one that you can do if you just want to open up and bring some vitality, some freedom, and some movement to the whole body. So let's start with our feet nice and wide, and we're just going to tilt from the waist a little. So send the hips back, have a soft bend in the knees, and we're just rotating from the thoracic. So from our mid upper back, we're rotating from there. So our hips are nice and still. And just warming up the thoracic, bringing some movement in to our upper body, into our shoulders, releasing any tension, and moving from the waist. So you can bring the head into the movement as well, so swinging and looking side to side, twisting from the belly, from the waist, maybe bringing it up a little further, looking up. And coming back, slowing the movement down, move back into the center, finding some stillness for a moment. Let's roll the shoulders back and down, stand up nice and tall, so press the feet into the ground, draw the belly up and in, allow the sit bone to be heavy, shine the chest, draw the chin back in, allow the shoulders to melt down. From this beautiful, strong, stable but open position, let's inhale, bring the hands up, lace the fingers, stretch them above our heads, and really lengthen up from the ribs, from the waist. Press into the left foot and lean over to the right. And feel that long line from the wrist all the way down into the left foot. Inhale, draw back to center. Lift up and then over as we come over to the right. You can gaze under the armpit. Lift and lengthen. Press down into the right foot, sending that long line of energy all the way up into the hands. Come back into center. Now doing some circle movement. So maybe widen the feet a little more. And you can have the toes facing out, so a little bit more of a diagonal with the feet. Lift up and let's circle. So dive the hands over, down to the right foot, come to the center and up the left. Back to center, let's go around again, dropping chin to chest. Just moving through the hips and the waist. Moving through the side body. Last one. And starting to move up, lengthening into the hamstrings as well. Let's go. Circle down the opposite way now. Up and over to the left. Making sure that chin is tucking to the chest to lengthen the back of the spine, lengthen the back of the neck. Really bending into the knees. And allow the hands to come down. Just noticing how that feels in your back. Inhale, raise the hands up tall. Coming into downward dog. So let's plant the feet where they are. Move the hips back and walk the hands out in front of us. Press the hips up into the sky. Plant the hands down into the sand. Let's pedal out the feet here. So press the heel down into the earth, bending into the opposite leg, and then straighten, send the heel down, bend into the opposite leg. Freeing up the back of the legs all the way up into the hips, along the spine, into the chest, whilst creating some strength. So draw the belly up and in, chin to chest. Come into stillness. Inhale, come up into the balls of the feet and ripple through the spine. Drop the hips down and gaze upward, up dog. Press back into down dog, hips sending them back and up, pressing into the hands. Inhale, ripple the spine, allowing the hips to sink down, but we don't want to collapse down. So instead, zip lock your ribs to your pelvis, opening up through the chest. Send the hips back, ripple through, and shine the chest. Press into the hands. Legs should be nice and straight. And And from this position, we're just going to look over the shoulder, gazing back behind us, bringing some twist into that spine, just like we do when we're on the board. We're really consciously starting to twist here and bring that movement, connecting mind and body. Inhale, look to the front and look over the opposite shoulder, evening out both sides. Come back to center, press the hips back. This time, take the right leg through, coming to a 90-degree lunge here. So drop the left knee, standing up nice and tall from the hip joint, and just noticing if it's tight here already. We want to scoop the belly up and in as we press the thigh down, pressing the knee down into the sand. And we're scissoring the hips, so we draw the right leg back into the socket whilst bringing the left one forward. Let's circle the hands so they come up through center, and we're taking them into a circle. So the right one goes back behind us, left in front. Come back up to the center, stand nice and tall, and then opposite side. Left hand goes back, right hand forward. Inhale up, come up out of the hip, twist, right arm goes back, look behind you. Inhale, rise up, left hand goes back, look behind you, really spreading into the fingers here. Inhale, rise tall, and right, come back around. Plant the left hand on the outside of the knee, press knee into hand, hand into knee, and stretch the right hand back behind you. Just twisting from the waist while we curl the belly up and in still. Inhale, the hand goes up and over. We're going to stand the hips back into runner's lunge. Let's just press the hips back and up. Draw the belly in, pointing and flexing the foot. So bringing some movement into the ankle joint. Flexing and pointing, even side to side, twisting that ankle, getting ready for that movement that we have as we stand up and move ourselves around on the board. Pointing and flexing while sending that hip back. Press the hands on either side of the foot, come into forward fold. So the feet are in line with each other. Let's just let the head sink, be long on the edge of the spine. And let's step the right leg back this time. Coming into our 90-degree lunge. Let's just feel out the hips for a moment. So send the right knee down, lengthening into the front of the thigh. Scoop the belly up and in. Coming long and tall out of our hips here. Inhale, stretch the hands up nice and long. Coming out of the hips even further. And let's twist. Left hand goes back this time, looking over and behind us. Inhale, come up through center, and let's twist the other side. Right hand goes back, look behind us. Inhale, come up. Exhale, twist behind us. Draw the belly up and in. Stretch tall, looking behind us. So twisting from the base of the spine all the way up into the neck. And this time looking back, let's take the right hand and place on the outside of the knee. Stretch back with that hand and looking behind us. Really twisting and opening up through the chest, through the shoulders, whilst opening up through the hips as well. And coming up and out of the hips to reach a little further. As you exhale, see if you can twist from the waist, rinsing our spine. And exhale, come forward, plant the hands beside of the foot, send the hips back, pointing and flexing the foot here. Just bringing some movement into the ankle joint. Again, we're sending the hips up and back. Maybe side to side with the foot. Just releasing all the tendons, the ligaments, the muscles in our ankle joint, in our foot, in our shin and in our calf. Press into the hands, come up to forward fold again. Bend the knees, let the head be really heavy. Hang the body over for a moment, take a deep breath in and deep breath out. See if you can straighten the legs, hips to the sky, sink the heels into the ground. And from this folded position, take the right leg back. Pigeon pose with pulsing. So walk the left foot over and then just lower it down, but not all the way. So we just want to come up so we're still up on our hands. Our chest is shining forward. Draw the chin back in. We're just going to do some little pulses in this movement. So we come down a little, bend into the arms, and then back up. So the little pulses as we're feeling out this movement here, opening up through the hips whilst warming up the body. And the back leg is nice and super straight, super long. Knees nice and tight as we're just pulsing up and down in our pigeon. And now just relax it down, just let it soften, open up the chest. Step back, swap legs. So take the right foot over towards the left. Hands in front of the shin helps give you more room. And we're going to pulse up and down. So straighten that back leg, pulsing up and down. We're drawing that belly in, so activating through the core, activating through the shoulders and the arms as we're opening up through the hips. Noticing if there's any difference between each side, and then just hold it down, holding for a moment here. Open up through the chest. Take both legs back behind you, step into downward dog for a moment, and then both legs in a wide stance. Coming to some side lunges here, so send the hips back, press into the knees so we can turn the feet out so they're on the diagonal. Hands in front in prayer position and melt down, really stretching over to one side but really strong through the thigh. Come back to center and down, center and down, making sure that knee is tracking over the toes, up through center, strong in the core. We're not hanging out or dipping in, we're drawing up, strong. This time go down. We're going to come into a twist, so take the left hand on the outside of the knee, open up. Twisting from the hips, rotating through the spine and gazing up towards the hand. Inhale back to center and the other side. So come down first and then take the right hand on the outside of the knee, open up, gazing upwards. And come back to center. This time come back down, place the left hand and open all the way up. So twist, twist, twist until you're looking over your right hand. Stretching long as if someone's pulling you from the wrist, opening up into the hips there. Come back to center, come to the other side. So bend first, plant the right hand and twist, open all the way up, take the left hand back. Gazing behind you, pulling that left hand, zip from the wrist, nice and long. And come back to center, standing nice and tall. Bring the hands in, bring the feet in. And from standing nice and tall here, hands either in the middle, we can just make a fist, or hands on the hips. Coming as if you're coming up over the fence. Touch the foot and then behind. In front and behind, even all the way behind, a little more, and all the way in front. It's coming up and over as if you're moving over a fence. Just working with the balance. And again, just opening up through that hip joint. And come back to center, other side now. So you're coming up and over the fence. Up and touch. Really strong in the standing leg. Draw the knee up. And moving with the breath. Exhale, land the foot. Inhale. Deep breaths. Draw the belly up and in. And come back to the center. Feet nice and wide. Let's just do some knocking. So just twisting from the waist. Arms are nice and loose from the shoulder joints. And the knees are nice and soft as we bend into them. Knocking side to side. Releasing any last bit of tension or restriction before we go out for a surf. Come back into center. Let's cross the arms, cross the arms, cross the arms, and this time hold. Coming into eagles, so we wrap the arms around, trying to get the palms to touch each other. Just for a moment, draw the shoulders back into the sockets, lift the elbows up, lift the wrists up. Let's go the other side. So 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. And then make sure you swap arms. Cross at the elbows. The palms are trying to touch each other. Draw the shoulders back in. Lift the elbows up. Standing nice and tall. And then let it go. And enjoy yourself.